Hi, I'm Mark Polk with RV Education 101. Today we're going to go where most RVers never go. We're going to look at the inner workings of your RV waste valves and discuss topics like leaking valves, valve repair and replacement, valve maintenance, and much more. Sit back, relax, and learn everything you ever need to know about your RV waste valves. Whenever you work on or around any sewer plumbing system, you should always wear gloves for proper sanitation. Let's start with the valve bodies. RV waste valves are typically 1.5 inch for the gray water tank and 3 inch for the black water tank. To open the valve, you simply pull the handle, and to close it, you push the handle. Notice how the seals work by sealing against the paddle and the flanged fittings. There is also an internal seal at the valve neck. Speaking of flanged fittings, you'll notice that one of the flanged fittings is sized to accept 3-inch pipe, and the other is sized the same as 3-inch pipe for insertion into another fitting. Collector fittings like these fittings here allow the 1.5 inch gray tank line and the 3-inch waste tank line to terminate together. This one shows the complete assembly. Collector fittings can be fixed like this or rotating like this. Now let's talk about bayonet fittings for a minute. A bayonet fitting is this part right here. If the valve is plumbed at the side of an RV, the collector fitting has bayonet lugs for use with caps and hose adapters. If the valve is plumbed away from the edge of the coach, the assembly with a hub like this one uses 3-inch pipe to plumb out to the side where termination adapters like this one create a bayonet end. Bayonet caps like this and hose adapters like this fit on the bayonet ends to cap off the valve or for the connection of the sewer drain hose. Now that you are familiar with the waste valve components, let's go over some simple preventive maintenance for waste valves. Valve stem lubrication can be done with a silicone paste or a spray silicone. Do not use WD-40 as it will remove all grease inside the stem sealing gland and can actually make the valve harder to open over time. Paddle lubrication is normally not required, but there are numerous aftermarket treatments that simply flush down the toilet and can be used as desired. A leaking valve can be caused by several different things, like a hard foreign object that lodges under seals or cuts seals during paddle closure. Some examples of this are plastic shavings from the manufacturer of the tank, wood chips and debris that drops into the tank at time of original installation, and any metal object accidentally dropped into the toilet that works its way to the valve. Other causes for leaks are excess solvent cement that invades the valve seal area, improper adjustment or installation of cable valves like this one, and any obstruction of the valve handle that can cause a false closure. Sometimes a damaged waste valve can be repaired, and other times the valve needs to be replaced. Replacement seals must always match the valve brand with the exception of Grentech valves that can use Valterra seals. Blade-X valves need Blade-X seals. Older style Valterra and Grentech valves use Valterra seals. Valterra Blade-X seals cannot be used to replace other brand seals. If you find all of this confusing, just buy the replacement valve body with seals. Before replacing seals, make sure the fitting seal area is clean. Place seals on the lip of the flanged valve fittings and then insert the valve before tightening hardware. Always tighten the bolt head, not the nut. The nut is knurled to prevent loosening. Stop tightening the bolt when you see the bolt head starting to bite into the plastic. Valve brands include Valterra, Bladex Valterra, Grentech, Lardon, LaSalle Bristol, and Nanda. Bladex valves with Bladex seals universally replace all valve brands. To replace a valve, follow these steps. First, remove the old valve and seals. Clean the sealing area on the flanged valve fittings. Place the seals onto the lip of the fittings. Insert the valve body and tighten hardware by ratcheting the bolt head and stopping when the head starts biting into the plastic. Valterra valve handles like these, both plastic and metal, replace all handle brands with a threaded valve shaft. To replace the handles, hold the valve stem with cloth-protected pliers and unscrew the handle. Take care not to mar the stem surface that slides on a sealing gland inside the valve. Turn on the new handle until it's secure. Now I want to discuss solvent welding. The cement you purchase at the store is actually a solvent. Solvent welding is the process of melding two pieces of the same type of material together into one. We discussed earlier that valves can leak if excess solvent cement invades the valve seal area. When you solvent weld valves and fittings, make sure not to place an excessive amount of solvent cement into the fittings. Always follow the instruction on the solvent cement. Now let's talk briefly about cable valves and cables. Valterra's patented cable valve system converts hard-to-access valve handles to a simple push-pull placement. When you install a cable valve, there are a few things to keep in mind. Make sure that any cable does not loop more than 180 degrees. Make sure there is not any excess length. Make sure the cable stays straight for a minimum of 6 inches coming out of the valve, and all 180-degree bends have a minimum diameter of 24 inches. For complete cable valve installation instructions, visit Valterra's website at www.valterra.com. Here are a few more tips on cable valves. Valterra cables do not require lubrication. Always use new Bladex valves with any cable retrofit, as they are designed to open easily and work with cables. All cable handles should have a 3/8-inch gap between the back of the handle and the wall. This will ensure that there is always enough pressure to completely close the valve. For cutting cables, always use a good quality wire cutter and make sure that after cutting there is no remaining part of the cable obstructing the wire that moves through the cable housing. If so, bend any obstruction outwards to open the wire pathway. After installing, make sure all excess cable is secured under the chassis. There is one more really neat product I would like to show you today. It's called a twist-on waste valve. If you are trying to repair a cable valve that is not closing completely and is leaking through the valve paddle, you may want to consider a twist-on valve as a quick fix that does not require a costly service repair. And you have a temporary or permanent leak-free valve in place. Hopefully this video demonstrated some simple do-it-yourself procedures to help maintain your RV waste valves. When it's time to repair or replace a waste valve, go to your nearest RV retailer to purchase the Valterra products you need to do the job. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, the most important thing, if at all possible, make sure the holding tanks are empty and rinsed out prior to repairing or replacing waste valves. Take a minute to visit www.valterra.com for additional valve service information and for a complete list of products Valterra produces. Thank you for joining me today, and keep in mind, when it comes to making recreation easy, Valterra is there for you. Be safe and happy camping.